Okay, you guys, I've got you over here at Dark Waters 9. This is this guy's YouTube channel. There's something on here, though, that I wanted to share with you guys. So here we go.
Structures in Europe, Asia, and even America share the same distinctive features, not forgetting that they also seem to be constructed with methods far too advanced for their supposed time periods. It raises the question, is our historical timeline accurate, or has it been completely fabricated to hide something, or were they all built by the same architect? This is where it gets crazy. There was a colossal empire named Tartaria that was a highly advanced civilization with technology and knowledge far beyond even our current time. They have even been credited with the construction of the Great Wall of China. But it gets even more unsettling. What if the dates on these buildings are wrong? Imagine if that number 1 wasn't a 1 at all. Our history could be off by 1,000 years. The current timeline is a lie. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, they held events called World's Fairs to use as cover-ups to demolish our advanced past. Many recount that these structures were wiped out days after the events. This was evidence of a global civilization, a civilization whose roots could be traced all the way back to ancient Egypt.
I do wonder where this palace is. This is a unique building.
This wasn't just a flood, it was a reset, a geospiritual purge, not from nature, from them. The elite bloodlines didn't just erase history, they buried it. This wasn't just a flood, it was a reset, a geospiritual purge, not from nature, from them. The elite bloodlines didn't just erase history, they buried it, literally. The mud wasn't water and dirt, it was liquidated memory, a slurry of alchemical reaction, sound frequency, and geo-engineered destruction. This was weaponized Earth. They triggered it using ancient tech, resonance devices, tower harmonics, something like harp but older, much older. It didn't just cover buildings, it silenced truth. Tartaria wasn't a lost empire, it was the empire, worldwide, unified, based on free energy, ether tech, vibration, sound, water, and sacred geometry. The architecture still whispers it. Star forts, orphan trains, cathedrals tuned like instruments. They were building with resonance, not brick, and that scared the parasite class. So what did they do? They turned the ether grid against itself, hijacked the somatic fields, triggered a resonance collapse. Stone became liquid, mountains bled, the ground rose and swallowed whole cities. That's what the mud was. Not sediment, not flood water, resonance fallout from a frequency war. The so-called mud flood appears worldwide. Buried windows, half-submerged doors, cities built on top of cities, perfectly preserved ruins beneath fresh layers of soil. But there's a problem. There are no matching water systems, no mega tsunamis, no volcanic evidence. And yet, structures 20 plus feet deep, encased in packed sediment. This wasn't erosion, it was instant burial. The only force that could do that globally, with precision. Sound. Tartarian cities weren't primitive. They were powered by resonant architecture, buildings designed to generate and receive frequency. Domes, antennas, star forts, giant tuning forks disguised as monuments. These structures didn't just look beautiful, they harnessed free energy, pulled from the ether, distributed wirelessly through geometry and sound. The enemy didn't just want to destroy the people, they needed to shut down the grid. And to do that, they had to collapse the frequency field. There's a phenomenon called soil liquefaction. Vibrate the ground at just the right frequency, and the solid turns to sludge. Not water, not mud, but a state change triggered by vibration. The earth becomes a trap. Foundations fail, stone sinks. And if it's done on a massive scale, you get the mud flood. It didn't fall from the sky, it rose from beneath, triggered by resonance weapons. This was geoacoustic warfare, and it worked. Ancient texts speak of trumpets that leveled cities, walls that fell from shouting, temples that hummed themselves into collapse. These weren't myths, they were acoustic weapons. Tartaria likely had its own frequency defenses, so to break it, the controllers needed tech even stronger, tuned to the exact harmonic signature of Tartarian architecture. This wasn't random destruction, it was targeted dissonance, resonance sabotage, the same way opera singers shatter glass, but scaled up to citywide collapse. Every reset needs a story, a cover, a myth, and so they blamed it on floods, natural disasters, time, chaos. They rewrote the maps, changed the calendars, buried the history, literally, but the truth is buried in plain sight. They silenced the cathedrals, they shattered the grid, but they didn't stop using sound, they just inverted it. Now the frequencies aren't healing, they're draining, designed to destabilize. Sirens, alarms, fluorescent hums, high-pitched appliances, constant low bass in cities, 440 hertz tuning standard, Discord disguised as music. You're not just hearing noise, you're being programmed by it. The war on frequency never ended, it just changed pitch. Modern cities don't just look soulless, they're engineered to be spiritually sterile. Box shapes, low ceilings, right angles that deflect energy, fluorescent lighting that drains your aura. None of it flows, none of it sings. Compare it to Tartaria, vaulted domes, spirals, gold leaf, sacred ratios. Your phone emits a frequency, so does your router, your smart meter, your fridge, your watch. Each one tuned to disconnect you from the grid beneath your feet. This isn't just radiation, it's vibrational hijack. 5G doesn't just spread data, it spreads synthetic rhythm. It overlays the Schumann resonance, Earth's natural heartbeat, with artificial pulse. So your cells stop syncing with Gaia and start syncing with the system. It's not just about control, it's about replacement. They're replacing the grid they buried in with one you can't feel. But here's what they didn't count on: memory stored in stone, frequency stored in flesh. Because the more we walk the ruins, the more we touch these cathedrals, star forts, sacred sites, the more the signal begins to come back. We hum, we remember, we resonate. People are restoring ancient harmonics, tuning forks, organs, singing bowls, and playing the frequencies that unlock DNA, collapse trauma, realign light bodies. The grid responds. It never left. It was just waiting to be remembered. You're not separate from the grid. You are part of it. Your body, water and crystal. Your voice, resonant tech. Your bones, mineral receivers. You were born into a silenced world, but your frequency didn't forget. You're here to retune the earth, to walk among the ruins and wake the stones. To crack the spell with your vibration. Tartaria was never lost. It's echoing through you. And when we remember how to sing again, the mud recedes, the towers rise, and the grid hums once more.
And here I looked up dragon, and it says right there, now rare, a huge serpent, a fabulous animal, generally a monstrous winged, scaly serpent, lizard, or saurian. And I looked up saurian, and it also repeats basically what it says here, a dragon, a fierce or very strict person, a woman. Yeah, a dragon, a woman scorned. Anyway, so there you go. A armored tractor, any of these genus of Draco, a small orbial lizards of the East Indies. So there's lots of dragon type lizards that are in the genus, but this specifically refers to the dragon as now rare, a huge serpent, and it says it's got wings, monstrous winged scaly serpent. I wonder if it really breathed fire and stuff. Anyway, you guys comment below and let me know what you think about that, huh? Okay, here we go in this old dictionary. Tartar, one of the people of Tartaria. See Tartar, often in cap. A person of a violent or irritable temper. A person who proves too strong for his assailant. To catch a Tartar. Also Tartarian, or of or pertaining to Tartaria or the Tartars. Yeah, so this was in this old dictionary here. And here's one of the pictures of the Tartarian flag. You know, these guys were, the Tartarians were supposedly like giants. They were of huge stature. I found a description of them in an old dictionary. But Yeah, and the dragon I also found in the dictionary, and it was talking about how dragons are now rare. I thought they were mythical, but apparently they're not. And most things that we're told are mythical are not mythical. Anyway, I'm trying to get this one to pop up. God, this stuff is running, my computer's running so slow. Sorry about that. So, and there's another picture. These dragons had wings and they flew around, you guys. Just like we see in the movies. I mean, how many times do they tell us in the movies what's really going on?